Good evening, East Alabama. Welcome into the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts, and this is a rainy Thursday afternoon, but we have got an action-packed Thursday afternoon. We've got two big interviews featuring one of the best wrestling programs right here in East Alabama, a team that's hosting a big tournament this weekend. And then we're going to talk with one of the top teams in girls basketball in the state of Alabama. We're going to talk with their head coach in the final segment today. Two big interviews, a great show. We're going to preview wrestling and basketball today on this Thursday afternoon. Hey, just a reminder, if you have not already, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of like and following our East Alabama Now page. By liking and following, you don't miss the Locker Room. So every weekday, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m., you'll see the Locker Room come up on your feed. You can even make sure that you turn notifications on so that every time East Alabama Now makes a post, like when we post about the weather, we post about, the show, we post about whatever else it may be, you guys have an opportunity to see that come immediately up in your notification feed, and then you can come respond to it, share it, like it, follow. And then, of course, right now, we still have EAN News at 6:30 p.m. That's soon going to merge into East Alabama Now. But for now, still make sure you check out EAN News every weeknight, 6:30 p.m. John Holder with your local weather. It's been really rainy. He does a good job of keeping us up to date. And, we've got Mike Stedham and Katie Edwards bringing you your local news. I mean, we had a news story happening right outside our door yesterday. And then, of course, I bring you the local sports. We preview the wrestling duels for the night ahead. We preview the basketball games as senior nights are in full swing. But today we're going to start the show by talking about the Piedmont Dogfight Wrestling Tournament that is taking place this weekend. And then we're going to hear from the head coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Austin Bragg, in just a little bit. But the Piedmont Dogfight Tournament is one of the top wrestling tournaments of the season for anywhere in the state of Alabama, especially for classification 1A through 4A. Coach Austin Bragg's team puts on a tournament that is really a mini state in a way. This is the teams that are going to be there, 15 teams: Cherokee County, Cleburne County, Deshler, Dora, Madison County, Montgomery Catholic, New Hope, Piedmont, Prattville Christian Academy, Ramburn, Sachs, Welborn, Weaver, West End, and White Plains. Now, when I look at those teams in the latest rankings by Southeast Wrestling that they put out, you look at this, you got the number 1 team in the state, Weaver, is going to be there this weekend. You got the number 6 team in the state, Dora, is going to be there. You got the number 7 team in the state, New Hope's going to be there. Number 8, Ramburn's going to be there. Number 9, Piedmont's going to be there. So 5 top 10 teams alone in the latest rankings by Southeast Wrestling are going to be at the Piedmont Dogfight this weekend. Now, let's look at this a little bit closer. Look at the 106-pound weight class. Tristan Garrett of Sachs is going to be there. Miles Bailey of Piedmont will be there. Kel Fulmer of Weaver will be there, and Carter Driver of Ramburn will be there. 4 of the top 6 guys in the 106-pound weight class will be at Piedmont this weekend. Keep an eye on that. I think it's going to be interesting. That Tristan Garrett, Miles Bailey, Kel Fulmer, Carter Driver. I feel like Garrett's he's spaced himself out from Bailey and Driver, but Fulmer now has split with Garrett and also split with Bailey. So it's going to be interesting to see how 108 plays down the stretch. At 113, Cameron Sharp from New Hope and Jalen Gunn from Deshler. Those two will be there this weekend at 113, and both of them have been really solid wrestlers. I've always been a fan of the Deshler program. I love their coach. I see him all the time. I remember, this has nothing to do with anything about Deshler wrestling, but I remember we wrestled at American Christian Academy when I was in high school, and that was the first time we'd really traveled down to Tuscaloosa to wrestle. And I remember we stayed at the hotel, and that's the first time I was introduced to Deshler. I seen the Deshler wrestling coach, and then we wrestled him later on. But anyway, I just thought he has really good programs, done a really good job there. At 120, Mason Hom of White Plains has really separated himself from the pack. But you've got Hayden Heiss right behind him who will be there this weekend. And then those are kind of the two. They've just been on a collision course all year. But Mason Hom has won all 7 meetings with Hayden Heiss. At 126, it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out because, guys, we've got 4 of the top 6 guys in the state. You've got Adrian Waugh of New Hope, Jaden Rouse of Dora, Dalton Fink of Weaver, and Tanner Gerald of White Plains. Rouse defending state champ, Gerald defending state champ. Waugh has already beat Rouse head-to-head this year, and then Tanner Gerald has been a little up and down, but is a defending state champion at 126. At 132, Bryson Pugh of Prattville Christian Academy, Isaac Bailey of Piedmont, those two. You've got Skylar Cooper of Madison County, Jacoby Foster of Dora. So 4 really good guys at the 132-pound weight class. At 138, Curtis Souls of Cherokee County, Nathan Cox of Madison County, and James Andrew Ingalls of Montgomery Catholic. Those three are the ones to keep an eye on at 138. At 144, Austin Mayfield, and you've got Noah Screws of Welborn and Gianluca Torres of Weaver. That's Austin Mayfield's to lose. There's not a question about it. At 150, Brody Pugh of Prattville Christian Academy, Michael Buchanan of Madison County, Deshaun Kirby Barnes of Weaver. Those are the ones that are ranked. Again, I'm going over the top 6 ranked guys, according to Southeast Wrestling, that are wrestling in the tournament this weekend. At 157, Caden Thornton of Weaver, and then Andrew Young of Cherokee County and Colton Mayfield of Cleveland County. At 165, David Herrick of Cherokee County, defending state champion, and then he'll see Christopher Thornton and Caleb Tidwell of Piedmont. At 175, Zach Buchanan of Ramburn, Leighton Pohl of New Hope, Ryan Parker of Montgomery Catholic, Aiden Richardson of Dora. Those 4 of the top 6 at 175 will be at Piedmont this weekend. At 190, you have Cameron Richardson of Dora, Ross Mills of Dashler, Jaden Smitherman of New Hope, and John Bussey of Sachs. Those guys will all be there at the 190-pound weight class. And then at 215, Brandon Jolliffe of Weaver, Zach Presley of Walter Welborn, Will Johnson of Cleveland County, and Corey and Pryor of Dora. And then at 285, you've got Aiden Cockrell of Prattville Christian Academy, Zayden Benefield of Ramburn, Andrew Salter of Welborn. Those will all be at the Piedmont Dogfight. It's a mini-state preview. It's going to be good. Cherokee County, again, Cleveland County, Dashler, Dora, Madison County, Montgomery Catholic, New Hope, Piedmont, Prattville Christian Academy. Also love Prattville Christian Academy coaches. Love getting the opportunity to talk with them. Ramburn, Coach Meter does a good job there. Sachs, Gokey's done a good job there. Welborn, Ben Carroll's doing a great job there. Weaver, Coach Andy Fulmer's the dynasty right now at Weaver. West End, hey, young program. Those guys, man, are putting into it. Got to love to see what the future can hold for West End. Todd Manning does a good job at White Plains. All these teams have really good coaches. Man, we have great coaches right here in East Alabama and great coaches in the state of Alabama when it comes to wrestling. So, stacked tournament this weekend at the Piedmont Dogfight. I'll be there tomorrow night with highlights that you'll find back here on Monday. So, you're going to make sure you don't miss that. You know what else you don't want to miss? You don't want to miss Austin Bragg, and he is coming up after the break. So, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with the head coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Coach Austin Bragg. He's going to talk about senior night, talk about the Piedmont Dogfight, talk about how he can get his team to peak at the right time of the year. Don't go away. I'm Namath Pitts, and you're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you the locker room each and every day. Ted's Floors and Beyond has all your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, luxury vinyl. They have it for you right there at Ted's. You can go by their showroom there in Anniston and you can pick out what you like, want, and need, and they can do that there at Ted's. Also, they've got their partnership with Welborn Cabinet and will offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, tile showers. They can get it done there at Ted's Floors and Beyond. And now they offer you work on your outdoor space, whether it's an outdoor kitchen, patio, or living space. They have specially made outdoor tiles and stones that can enhance your outdoor experience. Go by and see them today at their showroom in Anniston on Highway 431, right before you get to Sachs Elementary School, or visit them online at shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you the locker room. We continue on this rainy Thursday afternoon. We were talking to you before the break about the Piedmont Dogfight Tournament this weekend that is going to be a stacked tournament. It's one of the best tournaments out of any tournament throughout the season, and it really is a preview of a mini state in a way for Class 1A through 4A teams. And I told you we were going to talk with two really great coaches today, and we're about to be joined by the first one. That is Coach Austin Bragg, who is the head wrestling coach for the Piedmont Bulldogs. Coach, thank you so much for taking time to be with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, let's just start. You guys celebrated senior night earlier this week. You had 3 seniors. Why don't you just go ahead and talk about those 3 seniors, what they've meant to your program, and just talk about senior night.
Okay, so we had senior night on Tuesday night. We hosted 5A leagues and we hosted SACs. Our 3 seniors, one of them has been around forever. Isaac's been around, since youth, since probably 5th, 6th grade. And we had Zeth Weaver also. He wrestled last year, so this was his 2nd year wrestling with us. And then we had a new guy who was a senior, Matt Jones. All 3 great kids. They work hard. Matt now, after he's had a season under his belt, he's like, man, I wish I'd have started this, 3 or 4 years earlier. But they're really good kids. We're really going to miss them. Miss, having Isaac in the room and miss having his leadership and his experience. But it was a good night, getting 2 wins and finishing our duels record at 25-6. It's a pretty successful season, in my opinion, when we have some of the toughest wrestling here in Canton County.
Absolutely. Coach, you talk about tough competition. Weaver's certainly up there, the duels champion, back-to-back individual champions in the traditional. Then obviously you got Cleburne County, Ranburne. Welborn's definitely improved under Ben Carroll. And, there's more than just that. Coach, I'm looking at just this weekend, this tournament that you're putting on, the Piedmont Dogfight. This tournament is it's a preview of mini state. And those are not my words. Those are Todd Manning's words from White Plains. I was out at White Plains yesterday leading an FCA huddle with those guys, and I was asking him about this weekend, and, hey, you going to wrestle your guys, or some guys going to sit back, kind of what? And he said, no, we're going to wrestle. We're going to wrestle our full lineup. This is a mini state for us. There's some of the teams that we're going to see at this tournament are going to prepare us for a couple weeks from now. So, Coach, those are words from another coach in the area, and he's right. I'm looking at these teams. Cherokee County obviously got a couple really good guys. Cleburne County, obviously everybody knows they have some really good guys. Deschler, Dora, 2 teams that you see occasionally, like they're at Weaver, at Welborn, but just seeing those guys. Is Madison County, Montgomery Catholic right now, they don't have anyone on track. I would like to know if they're going to be there. I'm ready for Madison County to wrestle some teams down here and not everybody up north. But, just New Hope, another really good team. Adrian Walls, one of their top guys right there at 26. And then, of course, you guys, Prattville Christian Academy, Ranburne, Sachs, Welborn, Weaver, West End, and White Plains. According to track, those are the teams. Any changes, any additions, any subtractions?
No, as of right now, that's what we have. There's a couple teams that haven't put their lineups in, but I've talked to coaches this morning. They said, yep, we're working on it. We're going to get it in today. So all 15 teams that are on track is committed and going to be here. That was our goal a couple years ago. Me and Coach Lynch, when we hosted the Dogfight, was like, hey, let's try to get the best competition we can. And so we invited everybody, 5A schools, 6A schools, Georgia schools. It didn't matter who it was. And then a couple years ago, Coach Lynch and I was talking and was like, hey, we're preparing for sectionals. We're preparing for the state tournament. Let's get teams together that normally don't get to see each other. All right, let's try to get a group of northern teams and southern teams from the south and try to get some head-to-head matchups that we normally don't get to see until state. So it's a great opportunity. It's 1A through 4A only. And then, like I said, it's a good mixture of north section teams, south section teams, and it's kind of a middle location between Huntsville and Montgomery area and down south where we can all come together, see some good quality wrestling, and for people that's finally getting down to the right weight classes, for them to get some head-to-head matchups prior into going into sectionals.
Absolutely. Coach, let's talk about a couple of your guys real quick. I want to start with Miles Bailey at 108. He's arguably been one of the best 108s in the state of Alabama. He really started the season on an incredible run, kind of ran into some adversity there. He's ran into, a couple guys that obviously, he's kind of split with Kel Fulmer, had Tristan Garrett right there. Let's talk about Miles Bailey and kind of what he can do for you down the stretch.
Well, Miles is a hard worker, and he's tough as nails. Here recently he's been battling with bronchitis, been kind of sick a little bit. But he gives 110% no matter whether he's sick, whether he's hurt. He pushes through. He's one that if he weighed 10 more pounds, I think there may not be anybody that could beat him. He's 98, 99 pounds. He's still, almost 10 pounds underweight compared to everybody else in the weight class. But he's a solid kid that no matter what, he's going to give it 100%.
Absolutely. Coach Isaac Bailey, that's kind of the guy. Let's just be honest with you. When people look at your team, that's the first person that comes to mind. He's also had a really good season. Had a little hiccup at County. Had a couple moments, though. Sometimes you need those as a guy like that just to remind yourself, hey, I'm not indestructible, you know what I'm saying? But he's been really good, and he's got an opportunity to potentially wrestle for a state championship, definitely placing in Huntsville. Let's talk about Isaac Bailey and getting him in the right place down the stretch.
Well, when it comes to technique, he has more technique than anybody in our room. He's very technical. He knows what he's doing. His problem is sometimes in pressure situations, he gets a little rattled, and so I've had to sit down with him the other day. We sat down like, hey, I know you're capable. We've seen you do the work. For example, this past weekend, he pinned Bradley Carter, which, state runner-up. Bradley Carter is he's an excellent wrestler. And so Isaac stepped up and pinned him. I told him, hey, you can do that to other people too. You got to believe in yourself. And so after having that conversation, I think he's going to be ready to go. He knows this is his last 3 weeks of his high school career, and he wants to end on a good note. And he's been working really hard to make sure we can work through not just the physical side of wrestling, but both the mental side to it as well.
So, Coach, those are the two that when people look at your team, they know those guys are going to be in Huntsville. But then you look at Hunter Bagley, Demerit Smart, Caleb Tidwell, and I don't want to knock anybody else. I apologize if I haven't mentioned a wrestler that's been better, but I'm just looking at the guys that I've seen that are, wrestling at a high level right now. Bentley Chandler, Elijah Young, Dalton Chandler. Looking at those guys and looking at those specific guys that are as well trying to be like Miles and Isaac. Talk about those guys, and let's not diminish Omega Smith as well as another guy that could pop up and get in there. Just talk about kind of those group of guys. Which ones excite you out of those? What are you expecting out of those guys?
Well, they're all stepping up. They're coming along. We're finally starting to get to the point where everybody's healthy. We're getting to the point where everybody is starting to get to the right weight, and I think that was the big issue we had at the start of the season. Like Hunter Bagley, for example, has cut 30 pounds since the start of the season. And it's not that he's done it wrong. He's done it over the course of the season. So dating back from when practice started in October up until this time frame, we're limited on how much they can lose per week. And he goes, man, I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. I feel healthy. I feel good. I feel energized. And so that's the biggest key is getting the guys in the right weight classes at the right time. And I can't pick one out. Every day they surprise me. Looking back at Saturday when we had the Donnie Belser Memorial Tournament, we had a couple guys win the tournament that hasn't won a tournament before. Caleb Tibble won a tournament. Hunter Bagley won a tournament. And so it was good to see those guys to finally, capitalize and realize, hey, I can be good too. As long as I continue to work hard, do the right things and get where I need to be, then, they can be just as successful as what Isaac and Miles has. So I'm really looking forward to sectionals coming up. Personally, I do think the North section is the toughest section in the North. When you got teams like Asheville and Dora and Weaver and Corner and just list goes on and on and on. But I think we're going to surprise some people. I like seeing the rankings when they come out because, right now as a team it has a 6 and they only had like 2 guys that were ranked in the top 6, which is great motivation for my kids. They're like, hey, I know I can be up there on that list too. And so they're working hard and they're getting ready to gear up for sectionals.
Well, Coach, that's the best thing about them rankings. It's all rat poison. Our job is just to make everybody mad. That's all people ever care about. They never say thanks for putting my guy in the top 5. It's always, why wasn't this guy in the top 5? But no, Coach, final question. You obviously got the Piedmont Dogfight this weekend. You'd love to have a great showing there in your own tournament. But looking down the stretch, you do got a tough North sectional. Then you get into the Von Braun Center in Huntsville. Talk about getting your guys to wrestle their best wrestling right now.
Yeah. Well, our biggest key is just getting everybody healthy, get them in the right weight class. The biggest issue that I think all kids have when it comes to cutting weight is they want to yo-yo their weight. They want to gorge yourself over on Saturday and Sunday and then try to cut back through the week, and that's not healthy. And we teach how to have properly nutrition, how to eat properly, how to be able to maintain your weight. The goal is hey, stay away from sick people. We know right now flu's been bad over the last couple months. COVID's been bad over the last couple months. And so we're like, hey, stay away from sick people, do the right things, get a little extra conditioning in, keep working hard, and we're going to get where we want to be come sectional time.
Absolutely, Coach. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And, man, looking forward to a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
All right, Coach Austin Bragg, the head coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs wrestling team. And that is going to do it for our wrestling talk today. But when we come back, we're going to talk basketball, and we're going to talk with the coach of one of the top teams in the state of Alabama. It's a big interview, so don't go away. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Welcome back into the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts. We told you we had a big-time interview coming up this segment, and that means it is time for us to talk with Justin Bowen, the head coach of the Southside Panthers ladies basketball team, who is arguably one of the best teams in the state of Alabama. Coach, thank you for taking time to be with us today.
Yeah, excited to talk a little ball with y'all.
All right, Coach, let's just start. You guys are fresh off the Etowah County tournament. Second time in school history you guys have won the Etowah County tournament. Just talk about your team, man, and just the way you guys came out on top.
Yeah, just like you just said, this is only the second time in school history that the Southside Lady Panthers have been able to win the county tournament, it was surprising to me. I didn't know that until a few days before we played. Because they've had some really good teams in the past. Coach Nels did a really good job when she was here with them. But those were the times when Hokes Bluff and Glencoe had really, really good teams, and they kind of ran the county tournament during those times. But I was proud of our girls this year. We have a really special group. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. We returned 6 seniors from last year, as well as several other girls that really contributed to our success. So. Was really proud for them to be able to add, that to their resume for this season and win the county championship.
Coach, I just kind of look at your track record of where you've been from Hazel Green to Oxford to Southside, and you kind of remind me a lot of Kaylin DeBoer. You're just a winner, man. You win where you go. It doesn't matter what sport it is. Obviously, I know you're probably humble, but Coach, just talk about the winning culture that you try to create within the locker room.
Yeah, I've been lucky to be at some good places at the right time. When I was at Hazel Green, my second year there, we were able to win the first state championship in school history in baseball in 6A. We actually knocked off Oxford in the first round. And it was really cool being a part of that because, like I said, that was the first time the school had ever experienced anything like that as far as baseball goes. And just to see the community support and just see the kind of excitement build throughout the season because they knew how special our team could be was really, really cool. We had really, really talented players the year before as juniors, and we returned a lot, kind of like this year. And those guys played really hard, and we hit it, at the right time and ended up winning the state championship. And then move on to Oxford and was there for a year coaching. And then the following year, Coach Etheridge comes over and he becomes the head coach. And we once again return a pretty good group of seniors and group of good players. Had some kids move in that obviously helped. And we were able to win the state championship for the first time in 26 years there at Oxford. And once again, Oxford's always been very competitive, always been a really good team, but it had been a really long time, actually, since the year I was born. But since they had won a state championship. So it was really cool to be a part of that once again. I never dreamed that, I would really have the chance to be a part of a state championship, especially that early, and then to be a part of two of them pretty quick was just really special and just was a blessing. And then, coming over to Southside, I felt like Coach Holcomb has done a good job with the football program. We've gotten better each year and done a good job with that. And then, taking over the basketball program, I think I did that at the right time. I mean, Coach Nels had done a great job with our girls. And we had a really, really experienced group coming back that had unfortunately went through some trials as sophomores, but had a lot of experience. So, I kind of reaped the benefits of that as being the head coach. And, the last 2 years have been really special, and we've had a lot of wins. I think we've had 43 wins in 2 years up to this point. So it's been really fun, and the girls have been really, really great. And it's just, it's fun. I'm surrounded by good coaches. I think I've said that before, to a lot of different people. It's been a blessing to the amount of great coaches that I've gotten to learn under. You got Keith Etheridge, Ryan Heron, who's now won 2 state championships in Pierce County, Wes Brooks, like Will Wagner. I mean, I could sit here and just name a huge list of coaches that I've got to work for and learn under and learn their different styles. And I think that has played a huge factor into the way that I coach and the way I kind of do stuff.
Absolutely, Coach. You guys made a deep run at regionals last year. You obviously came up just short of making it to Birmingham. Just kind of looking at this year's team, you've got a lot of talent. Grace Ann Rose, Madison Shaw, Layla Davis, just a couple of players that have contributed to your success. There's obviously so much more than just them. So just talk about this team. What makes this team different from the team a year ago that just came up short of making it to Birmingham?
Yeah, obviously just the experience. We have, like I said, 6 seniors. We have Layla Davis, Grace Ann Rose, Madison Shaw, Mallory Brooks, Joby Marble. I hope I didn't forget one of them. There's so many of them. But we have so many good, seniors that have, they've been battle tested the last couple of years. They went through a year where they didn't win very much. So, this is not a program that, as far as these girls go, that have just been super successful before the last couple of years. So they're still very, very hungry to win. They're very hungry to learn. And, man, they get after it. They play really, really tough defense. Our assistant coaches have done a really good job. They kind of took over most of our defensive stuff this year, and our girls really bought into it. And we got a quick, fast group. And I think what we're doing defensively this year kind of helps us out and gives us a little bit more of an edge than we had last year. And then as far as on the offensive end, we have so many different girls that can score and score in a lot of different ways. So that makes us really hard to defend on that end of the floor.
Coach, just looking at the kind of the media, the outside world, the rat poison, as Nick Saban would say, you guys are top 3 in the Coaches Association rankings. Alabama Sports Writer have you guys as well, very high. How do you get your team going down the stretch in area play? Because we've seen a lot of upsets happen here the past couple nights. Just last night, Sachs beat Piedmont. Piedmont been dominant in that area in 3A boys. White Plains beat Jacksonville fresh off winning the county championship. So there's a lot of teams that are coming off high moments that are starting to see some low moments at the wrong time of the season. but it's all about area tournament, winning area tournament, getting into regionals, winning. Just talk about getting your team to not look at all the outside noise, stay focused, and how do you get them to peak right now at the right time of the season?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job with our schedule this year. You know, we've had some stretches where we've won a bunch of games, but then we kind of get humbled because we go play Clay Chalkville on the road, or we go play Plainview on the road, or, you know, we had a good game where we beat Oxford at a neutral site. So I think we had some games sprinkled in that we knew were going to be really, really tough games on purpose. You know, they were going to be tough games to win. We were going to have to play, you know, really, really well above our heads. So I think, you know, even though we've had, you know, little runs where we've won several games, we've been able to kind of come back to reality when we play some of these better teams, and it kind of keeps us in check and shows us things that we got to work on because of the, you know, the losses that we've had. I think we've really grown a lot after each loss. And, you know, I think the girls would say the same thing. Like, we're really thankful for the losses that we do have, because without those, we wouldn't be the team that we are right now. So I think, you know, just our schedule, the way it was set up this year, really helped us kind of stay focused. And, you know, hopefully the next couple of weeks we can spend a lot of time trying to gain confidence and get rolling at the right time when we play the sub-regionals, hopefully here at home.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for taking time with us this afternoon. Good luck to you guys down the stretch, and hopefully we'll be talking post-game on the court here soon and getting some winning interviews.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Excited to see how the end of the season turns out.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on the Southside Panthers girls basketball team. They're certainly talented, and, of course, behind the great success of Justin Bowen. That's going to do it for us today, folks. I hope you'll join us back here tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. on The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.